excited to teach you what I learned growing my farm to $250,000 in sales at a 40% profit margin, selling my products direct to consumer. And so in this presentation, you're going to learn how to have regular recurring revenue, consistent orders on your farm so you can have that financial security and be able to provide for your family without posting on social media all day long, a bunch of posts and stories. So how to have regular recurring revenue on your farm, consistent orders, that's key, so you can have that financial security. Who is this for? Well, this presentation is for if you fall in any of these categories. If you're a farmer and you already have a product and you're doing at least $1,000 in monthly sales, this presentation is for you. If you are a farmer and you're selling direct to consumer and you're not dealing in commodities, you're not doing corn, soybeans, and selling on the commodity market, this presentation is for you. If you're a small, medium, large scale farm that has 5 figures in monthly sales, but you're not generating the profit you actually want, there's not a lot of leftover profit meat on the bone at the end of the day, but you're doing a lot in sales, this presentation is for you. And I'll give you a great example of a farm just like that. They're actually doing 6-7 figures in monthly sales and not generating any profit later on in this presentation. If you're a farmer and you haven't been able to master the whole online sales thing yet, this presentation is for you. You'll get something out of this. If you're tired of posting on social media all day, posting a bunch of posts and stories, you're not getting results, this is for you. If you're tired of the seasonality of farmers markets, being at the whim of the weather and people not showing up to the farmers markets or farmers markets that close for the wintertime, this presentation is for you. If you're a farmer and you're doing a lot of sales, but very little profit at the end of the day, this presentation is for you. And finally, if you're a farmer and you want stable income so you can support your family and really leave a legacy behind for your children, your grandchildren, and just give them something you can be proud of and they can be proud of and eventually take over, then this presentation is for you. So who has gotten results from this presentation, from this program? And here's Kevin. Here's a farmer that I worked with, and he increased his profit by $40,000 without expanding his farming operations. So he didn't do any more on his farm. He was just changing what he was currently doing. And here's a YouTube link where you can hear his story and what he did. Here's another farmer, Tom, went from zero experience, never farmed before at all, to doing $78,000 in sales in less than 6 months. So he literally went from no farming background, no experience, just raw land, to doing $78,000 in sales in 6 months. Again, here's the link where you can see, hear about what he did. And also Emmanuel, he increased his profit in $24,000 in just 7 days. Just 7 days, he increased his profit $24,000. And you can see lots of other people also have similar results. If you go to this link at the bottom, regenerativesuccess.com/reviews, you'll see lots of other farmers that have had similar results. So who am I? Who's this guy? He was talking to you on the screen. I was a medical professional turned chicken farmer. That's a picture of me and my son there. We do primarily raise pastured poultry. So we do ducks, chickens, turkeys, pasture raised, mostly meat birds on our farm. We also do some solo pasture and a little bit of orchard. But I struggled for a long time wanting to make this farm work. I was working as a medical professional, doing very well, but I just couldn't make the farm work. And I wanted to get out of the medical field. I hated my job. And for 5 years, I invested so much time, money, and energy, and it wasn't taking off. And finally, I figured out a few things that started to work. It started to take off. And within 5 months, I increased my farm profit by 700%. And I'll show you an example of that here in a little bit. And I was able to quit my full-time job to farm. And I discovered that there's a lot of other farmers also doing this, right? There's a lot of farmers out there that are struggling to get sales or struggling to find enough product or struggling to find customers. And so I started regenerativesuccess.com to really help other farmers, help them find customers, sales, and profit on their farm. And so I coach farmers to 10x their farm profitability, 10x their customers and their sales in less than 6 months, and we guarantee results. So here's some conferences that I've done at different places, and I was speaking about, trying to help as many farmers as I can. So in this presentation, I'm going to give you the kind of 3-step process, the 3-step solution to figuring out how to increase your farm profitability and your farm success. So for me, and I'm going to tell you what I did and then how you can apply this. I was working 40 plus hours weeks on the farm. I was selling in person. I was selling at farmers markets. We're doing a bunch of farmers markets. I was doing the stuff on Facebook. word of mouth. We were doing some online sales. We had an online store, but wasn't doing any results. We weren't getting a lot of sales. And after paying my bills, there's little to no profit left at the end of the day. So let me know if this kind of resonates, if this sounds familiar, kind of what you're doing. And so I knew that we had to do something different. And I realized that, farmers take all the risk, right? They do all the risk, they do all the work, and they get the smallest piece of the pie. It's always the middleman who makes all the money, right? The larger corporations, and the farmer does all the work, works all the time, takes all the risks of crops not producing or livestock failing, and gets the smallest reward. And I don't think that's right. I think farmers should get the largest piece of the pie because they do all the work, take all the risk. So let me know, do you feel like you're trading your time for dollars on the farm? You're just doing all this work, but you're barely scraping by. Everything you make goes right back into the farm. There's no profit left at the end of the day. If so, I can relate, the same way I felt. And a lot of farmers, and myself, I'm guilty of this included, I believe that if I focus on growing more product, I will earn more money, right? If I do, 10 times what I'm growing now, then I'll make 10 times more money. And in some cases, that is true. That does, as you scale up, as you do more product, you can earn more money. But oftentimes what happens is as you grow, you actually make less money at the end of the day. Why? Because you now have much bigger bills, right? You have to buy big, more expensive equipment. Now you have to buy big walk-in freezers and big tractors and trailers, and you have to hire and train more labor, and people leave, and you have to hire new people, and you have to pay for labor, whereas you were just paying yourself. You have bigger headaches, bigger things to deal with, bigger repair bills. And a lot of times as you grow, things become less efficient. I'll give you a great example of this. So here is, if anybody knows what this is, I'll move my head out of here so you can kind of see the sign that's out. Probably a lot of you know Will Harris, White Oak Pastures. I've talked to Will several times. I've had several conversations, and he told me, back in 2019, 2020, 2021, that time frame, he was doing multi-million dollars in sales. Very famous farm, livestock farm. Oops, shoot. Stuck on my head here. There we go. Let me go back. Very famous farm. He was doing multi-million dollars in sales. But at the end of the day, he had zero profit. He's like, I'm doing all this stuff, Jeff, but I had no money at the end of the day. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. He was doing millions and millions of dollars sales, making no profit. Here I am doing, $200,000 in sales and making, 50% profit. Like, wow, something is crazy about this. So doing more, multi-million dollar ranch that does beef, cattle, pork, etc., he's not making any money. He's got all this overhead, all these buildings, all these people, and all these headaches to manage. Whereas me doing myself, single operator, and I have several folks that help me on the farm, 1099s, but mostly a single operator was making really good profit. So I was like, maybe there's something to this. So I realized it's not about volume. It's not about growing your farm, doing more volume, more acreage, more animals. It's about margin. It's about profit. How much profit can you make at the end of the day? I can raise 1 million birds, but if I make $1 a bird, that's a lot of work to make $1 million, right? So what I realized in 2019, we're working with a lot of restaurants, a lot of wholesale. I sold 5,000 birds at a $10 profit. That's what I put in my pocket at the end of the day. So I earned 50 grand with a lot of time, a lot of effort. And some people might say, hey, 50 grand is great. I'm happy with that. And it can, I could have done more and done 100 grand, right? But what I came to realize, I had, was working with small acreage, and I realized, as I scaled up, my costs often went up, and they were more than I expected, or I might have had repairs, right? Or equipment broke down, or maybe my feed costs went up, or maybe my processor raised their prices this year. And now, instead of making $10 profit, I only made $5 profit per bird, right? Because things out of my control changed. Feed costs went up, processor went up, whatever, right? Things are breaking down. And so it's a really tight profit margin. It's really hard to make your farm work when you're relying on such a tiny profit margin, 10% profit or 20% profit. And so I decided in 2022 to really focus on growing that profit margin. So I went from basically earning $10 profit per bird to now around $80 profit per bird. I know people think they're not going to believe me when I tell them that, but we do this all day, every day. And it's not that we're just putting a high price tag on our birds. There's a lot that goes into that. And here's the results to back it up. So here's a screenshot from our Square sales in 2021. You can see in April, we're doing about $5,000 roughly in sales, monthly sales. And just 5 months later, looking in August here at the blue arrow, $16,000. So we increased our farm sales by 500% in just 5 months. So to $16,000. And we're doing that at 50% profit margin. So $16,000 a month sales at 50% profit margin in just 5 months. And I've helped others do the same. Other farmers do the same. So how do we do this? We did this by lowering our cost and increasing our value, increasing our profit by doing value-added products. So here's an example of a farmer I've worked with. Is Manuel. He increased his profit $24,000 in 7 days. I think I mentioned this before. Kevin increased profit $40K without expanding his farm operations. So the solution was focusing on margin, not volume, right? Focusing on getting more profit per item and not more volume. So I'm going to give you the 3-step solution, the 3-step process to really making your farm work. So that's step 1. Now it brings us to step 2. So once you've got a good profit margin, how do you get sales, right? You can have the highest profit margin in the world, but if you're not selling your products, it doesn't do you any good. So for me, I tried Facebook, I tried word of mouth, I was posting on social media all the time. I had a farm stand, we're doing farmers markets, we had a website which we redesigned and then used a third party, farm to door, and then we went back to doing our own website and then redesigned it again. And nothing was consistent, nothing was reliable. Farmers markets would close for the season, they closed for bad weather, people wouldn't show up. Online sales were hit or miss. They were unreliable. Word of mouth just takes way too long, and social media it just wasn't growing at the consistent rate I wanted it to. So I knew that I had to focus on recurring monthly sales because sales were hit or miss online. I need to get recurring revenue, and I tried this. They say, do subscriptions, do bundle boxes, and I did that. We had our website. We offered subscriptions. You could order any of our products and get it on a subscription. We had different variety bundle boxes available, pre-orders available, but still very few sales, very inconsistent. Nothing I tried with subscriptions or bundle boxes worked, at least not consistently. I'd sell a few here and there, but it was nothing great. I tried doing pre-selling our products, and that worked. It worked okay. We had some success in that, but it didn't work great for like pastured poultry or pork or something because I couldn't just do a big launch. Hey, we're pre-selling our animals, every 3 months for pastured poultry because it's like, someone's paying $25 for chicken. I needed to do more than that, right? I mean, that kind of people have had success doing that with beef, pre-selling it because you're selling, several $1,000s worth of product to one customer. But when someone's buying a $25 chicken, I can't just do a pre-sale once every 3 months. It just didn't work. So I finally figured out the right way to do recurring orders, recurring subscriptions. And when I did, we did $30,000 in annual sales in just 5 days of launching this thing. And here's a screenshot of our sales, $30,000 in 5 days. So here's another screenshot of our sales. And here's a YouTube link, a video I made about it and how we did it. But there were several key factors that made it successful, which I'm going to give to you right now. Because I really want you guys to find some value out of this video and hope that you can be successful as well. Because my goal is to make more successful regenerative farmers out there because it's better for our food system, better for financial security, better for the environment. So the more successful regenerative farmers we can have, the better. So I really want to help. And so what I did to make this successful was I figured out exactly what our customers wanted. We asked them, we figured, what do you want? What would you buy? What are the terms? What's the price point? All that stuff. And then we gave them what they wanted. And one of the things that they wanted, as an example, is they wanted home delivery. So we included free home delivery in our subscription. Then I built the whole marketing engine to actually do this. So I set up payments. I set up the landing pages where they could sign up. I set up all the automations to remind me when I got orders, remind the customer to place their order, remind them, when the delivery was going to be. We did a whole pre-launch and launch sequence of emails. I think it was like 11 emails total between the pre-launch and the launch. And I set everything up to run on autopilot. And that's really what made this thing work. And that's how we did $30,000 in 5 days. And I don't think if I didn't have all of these pieces, it would have worked. I don't think it would have worked as well. So that's step 2. So focusing on margin, not volume. Step 2, getting those monthly recurring revenue, monthly recurring subscriptions, monthly recurring sales. So what's step 3? How can we make this happen on our farm? So how does one become successful? Well, there's several things that I've identified that made the biggest change on my farm. Is one, I had to identify and cut my costs. I had to know exactly what my costs are to the penny of producing a product and try to reduce that as much as possible. Next, I had to set appropriate pricing, and set a pricing based on my cost and based on not what the other farmers were pricing it at, not what was it priced at in the grocery store, not my competition, but based on what made sense for me to price it at and my cost. Next, once we did that, I had to increase my profit margin. So I did that through building a bunch of value-added products and adding value to our products and getting the average sales price up much higher and our profit margin much higher. Next, I want to get recurring revenue through wholesale buyers, so visiting, working with lots of restaurants and other wholesalers and getting that recurring, consistent monthly revenue. Then I had to set up the whole marketing engine, so the website, the emails, sequences, the social media, the payment provider, the online store, all that stuff, the subscriptions that I mentioned, set up all those automations and tech, so I could get subscription orders for recurring revenue. So I set up the whole marketing engine, got subscription orders. I was able to grow to 6-7 figures in profit. So this is, you can keep growing this and scaling it. It's infinitely scalable, unlike a farmer's market, which is, you're going to cap out. You only have so many hours, so much time. You can only go to so many farmers markets. We've even done up to 7 farmers markets a week. Now we've tried to scale it, and it's worked okay, but it's hard getting employees and getting to these other locations. So there's a cap. There's a cap at how high you can scale something when it comes to farmers markets. But online sales, subscription orders are infinitely scalable. Working with restaurants and wholesale buyers are almost infinitely scalable, right? I mean, you're going to max out before you're going to fill as much demand as you can before you're going to, not find any more buyers. And then finally, we want to make sure we're not doing 60 plus hours a week on the farm. We want to maximize our efficiency while working less. So that's how we become successful here. So that represents the final problem, which is, how can I do this for myself? You might be wondering, how can you do this for yourself? And you can try and maybe figure it out on your own. It is going to take you a lot of time, a lot of effort. It took me 5 years, hundreds of thousands of dollars, lots of sacrifice, and you may not ever figure it out, right? You may not. I hope you do. The other option is you can ask for help, right? Don't be too proud to ask for help. You can have our team help you do this. And so that's why I built the Farm Profit Accelerator. And I'm not going to pitch you anything, but just tell you a little bit about the program. I built this to solve farmers' biggest problem, which is having a profitable farm with recurring revenue. That's the biggest problem I see. A lot of farmers either don't have enough sales channels, enough customers, or they have the sales, but they don't have enough profit. They're just trading time for dollars. So my goal with this program is to help livestock farmers grow their farm profit 6 to 7 figures in less than 6 months, depending on where you are, kind of where you start. So 6 figures in 6 months for more beginning farmers. You might have greater results if you're further along, without borrowing money. You're going to do this without borrowing money, without doing social media all day, without taking on huge debt. And you can even do this without growing your operations, without doing any more animals, just changing the way you market and sell them and the way you, and the products that you're offering. So that you can quit your job, grow your farm profit 6 figures in 6 months. So you can quit your job. You can finally have that financial security on your farm. You can work fewer hours, eliminate stress and worry, stop trading your hours for dollars, stop working an off-farm job, and you can be free and really dive into that farm that you love, that you always wanted, your dream, and leave a legacy for your kids and your grandkids and your people that want to take over your farm. So again, who's this for? If you're generating anywhere between $1,000 to $50,000 in monthly sales on your farm and you're a livestock farmer, you're willing to put in the work and have a can-do attitude, this is for you. And if you're selling direct to consumer, those are kind of the 3 criteria. If you're not selling direct to consumer, you're selling commodity, I can't help you. If you're blaming everyone and everything for your circumstances, you don't have a can-do, willing to put in the work and can-do attitude, I can't help you. And if you don't have a product yet, I can't really help you. Now, we do have some other things, but this program's not for you. You need to have a product first, and to be able to help you, a product and some sales to be able to help you. Now, I have worked with some farmers that don't do livestock. They do market gardening, but again, it's a little bit different scenario. It's not my expertise, but I can help you with the marketing side. But typically, we work with livestock farmers, support beef, chicken, lamb, etc. The system is built on 4 steps. Just to briefly tell you about it. First, we're going to cut costs. then we're going to increase profit margin, then we're going to get consistent orders, and then we're going to scale that and grow it as much as we can. So how does it work? There's a lot of options out there, right? So there's do it yourself, done with you, and done for you. So do it yourself is like, if you want to do this all yourself, you can look at online courses, you can look at YouTube videos all day long, so you're blue in the face, watch webinars, try to figure it out on your own. The problem with that is most people, if information was lacking, there's so much information out there. If information was lacking, then, with the invention of Google, we'd all be millionaires, right? But it's not information that we need. It's, consistent action on that information and doing the right actions consistently, which is why a lot of people do like coaching programs or they hire like an online retailer or something like that. And these kind of people work with you. And then finally, there's a done for you. So there's like a professional agency that'll do all this stuff for you that may or may not have the experience in farming to do that. Maybe they're just a marketer. The Farm Product Accelerator is kind of a blend of all this. We do some stuff for you. We do a lot of stuff for you. We do some things with you and assist you with it. And then there's some things you do in yourself. So it's kind of a blend of all three. And so what do we do, right? So we identify and cut your costs. We set appropriate sales price. We increase your profit margin 7 to 20x with a 7x sales strategy. We guarantee 50 wholesale appointments for you. So we make and schedule wholesale appointments for you and give you the script and the strategy and tell you what to say and do at that appointment. We set up and optimize your online store, basically build your entire marketing engine, your online store, your email marketing, your landing pages, your payment provider, all that stuff. And we drive traffic to it because you can have the best online store in the world, but if you're not getting visitors, you're not getting traffic, you're not getting sales, it doesn't do you any good. So we'll drive traffic at break even with our unlimited customers funnel. We'll set up your subscription model and launch that for you. We guarantee 500 new email subscribers and grow to 100K profit and beyond with the magic button. And improve your efficiency so you can work 10, 15, 20 hours a week like I am on your farm. So what are the results? So who's got results of this? So Dan was a farmer that came to me. He was losing money. So here's his sales. So his cost was $827. He was doing pigs. He was retailing them for $600, $597. So his total profit margin was negative $38,000. He was losing $230 per pig. We made some adjustments, figured out his cost, figured out his pricing, and now he's on track to do a 31% positive profit margin. So a big swing, and he's to net basically $45,000 in profit for the first half of 2023. Here's Kevin. He went from $300 a month in sales to now doing $20,000 a month in sales. So that's huge. And again, that's a link to his testimonial and how he did it. Here's other farmers I mentioned. We've had numerous other farmers that we worked with. So here's, if you go to regenerativesuccess.com/reviews, you'll see them. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut your costs, increase your profit, get wholesale buyers for repeat weekly large volume sales, right? That's what we like to do first. So you get those repeat orders as you're growing your direct consumer side, because that takes a little bit longer, right? So you're going to get unlimited retail customers that will pay more for your products and get more profit margin. And as you're scaling that up, a lot of times farmers will reduce the wholesale as they're increasing the direct consumer. And we're going to make it so you're working more efficiently, maybe only 10, 15 hours a week on the farm, as you can hire help and kind of source some of these things out. And I'm going to give you 6 months of personal one-on-one coaching, me and you and my team, to make sure you're implementing everything and getting results. We guarantee results, so no other program, coaching program, course, etc. guarantees results. Ask them if they got guaranteed, and they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. But we guarantee results because we know what we're doing. So here's kind of some of the things that's included in the Farm Profit Accelerator. So we do the get sales today first, then the chef sales package, which we guarantee 50 booked appointments. We do the pricing perfection. We set up your whole online store marketing engine, which is through our 10X Farm Marketing app. That's included. We do unlimited customers funnel, so we guarantee 500 new customer emails. We do the recurring revenue roadmap. We've set up your Facebook ads and guarantee unlimited contacts at $4 each. We do 6 months of one-on-one coaching, and you have access to the Farm Profit Accelerator video learning course, as well as my personal access to myself and my team. So these are what we guarantee. Nobody else guarantees results. We guarantee results, or 110% money back guarantee. So if you don't get 100% return on your investment, you get your money back plus $1,000 because we haven't done our job. We don't deserve it. Most farmers that work in this program get anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 in increased sales. Sometimes it's more than that, just depending on where you are in your scale. If you're already doing several $100,000 in sales per year, you can expect much greater results than that, obviously, because you got a larger customer base. We also see usually like a $3 return per email. If you're doing email marketing and you have an email list, for every person that's active on your email list, you about $3 in recurring monthly revenue per email subscriber. So you've got 1,000 emails, that's $3,000 a month in recurring revenue, and we'll work with you we do quite a few things to really greatly grow your email list. So what are your options? At this point, you can do it yourself, right? And it might take you 5 years. That's how long it took me to get successful. And you may not ever. 60% of farms fail in the first 5 years. There's no money back guarantee. There's no guarantee of sales. There's no support. Failure rate's very high. You can use one of these online retailers. There's a lot of them out there, like Farm to Door and all these people that are like, oh, we'll set up your website and do all this stuff for you. I did all those. It took years, and we never got results. There's no money back guarantee. There's no guarantees. There's very little support, I should say. There's some support. And again, we had the best website in the world, but we weren't getting traffic to it. It just wasn't working. You can hire other coaches, and that might take might get some success there. I encourage you to look into them, look into other programs. But there's a lot of gurus out there that promise a lot of things, and they can't back it up, right? They haven't done it for themselves or others consistently, and that's why they don't offer any guarantees, any money back stuff. We usually see results in the first hour of coaching. The first hour of one-on-one coaching, we usually see a dramatic decrease in their cost, a dramatic increase in profit margin. Like I said, people that have gotten $24,000, $30,000 just the first couple of days. So usually in the first hour, you can see a big result and usually get a good percentage of your money back, if not all of it. We give you the money back guarantee in the Farm Profit Accelerator. We guarantee you sales. So we guarantee 50 restaurant appointments, 500 new customer emails. We set everything up for you. We have one-on-one, 24/7 support. You get your own private Slack channel that we communicate with, and very low failure rate. I think we only had one person that didn't succeed with this, and it was just because they just quit. I mean, if you go through with it, we have a 100% success rate. You just got to follow the steps. It's not that hard. So those are the 3 steps. So margin, not volume, focusing on recurring monthly sales. And step 3 is to ask for help. Don't be too proud to ask for help. You can't do it all on your own. So book a call below. There's a button below this video where you can book a call if you're watching the video on this website, where you can book a call. Click that button. You can the button below to book a call with myself or my team. And here's how it works. Basically, we're going to open up some space in the calendar for us to talk about where you're at in your farm business. This is what it's going to look like on the call that you're going to book. You basically just click a blue date and time that's available and then put your name and email and phone number in. The call doesn't cost you anything, okay? And we're not going to hard sell you on anything. It's free. The goal of the call is really to figure out where you're at in your farm, what your challenges are, what your goals are, what you're struggling with, and just try to help you identify any roadblocks that we see. Sometimes you're so dense in the forest that you can't see the trees, right? And so sometimes just having another set of eyeballs can do wonders for your farm. And so we'll identify a lot of the common roadblocks we see with farmers, which is their costs are too high, their margins are too low, they don't have enough sales, they don't have enough customers, or they have no marketing system, no consistency, inconsistent orders, or maybe they have the sales, but they're not making a lot of revenue, they're having trouble hiring a team and maintaining that, they don't have enough time, they're not efficient, lots of different things. So we're going to identify that. Once we've identified those roadblocks and those challenges for you, we're going to give you a strategic plan on how to fix it. So we offer free help. Have tons of free guides, PDFs, videos to help you with those roadblocks. And this doesn't always include working with us. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I have very limited time. I'm running my own farm, helping other farmers. So we can only take on so many farmers in this program. So that's important. We don't accept anyone. So a lot of times we're not going to tell you, we're going to say, hey, it's just not a good fit, but here's some great information. I hope this can help you, If you are a good fit, we determine that we can help you and you decide that we can possibly help you. And we know that for 100% you can get great results with our program. We'll show you about that and how it works and how we can help. But we don't always work with everybody. We're limited in capacity. So here's Tom. He was a farmer starting at zero. He went through one of our programs and we taught Tom about pastured poultry and how to raise meat birds. And then he started the Farm Product Accelerator once he had a product, and he basically went from $0 to $2,000 to $3,000 in weekly sales. So he came a long way in about 6 months that we built the farm for him. So next up is book call below. This is everything that's included, all the bonus, facts, action, bonus. If you act now, we include all this stuff in addition to everything I mentioned before in the program. So go ahead and click the button below. If you're not on the website for some reason, you're watching this presentation, you're looking at it, here's the link to get to it. And just click the button below to apply, not apply, but to book a call with us. And then we'll talk to you about your farm, love to learn what you're doing, see how we can help and give you that strategic plan.